Doing what comes naturally. Welcome back to the Renaissance, episode 228.
Yeah, it is, boy.
Michelangelo, part something.
Exactly.
Yeah. Where we finished off last time, Ray, Michelangelo, the Medici have been kicked out of Florence,
Right.
1494. Mickey goes with them to Bologna, not that far away, gets arrested, gets rescued. He's living in the house of a member of the Bolognese elite, Aldovrandi, who gets him a gig.
Yeah, a very important one.
Carving figures for the tomb of Saint Dominic. Diddle-it, diddle-it. Oh, wrong Van Morrison song. Van Morrison has a song called, that's Jackie Wilson Said, but it's on the album Saint Dominic's Preview.
Right.
Which is what I always think of, but that's Jackie Wilson.
Yeah.
Jackie Wilson said, he'll be repeat. Kind of love you got me off my feet. Let it all work out. Let it all work out. And I know, so tired of, don't need no coffee in my cup. Let it all work out. Baby, let it all work out. Hang-a-dang-a-dang, diddle-a-dang-a-dang-a-dang, diddle-a-dang-a-dang, diddle-a-dang-a-dang-a-dang, diddle-a-dang-a-dang, 1971.
Wow.
Check it out, folks, if you haven't heard that. Great, great, great Van Morrison album. I bought that on cassette tape in a bargain bin in Melbourne in early 1988. I was 17.
Yeah.
I just moved to Melbourne.
And you went
from Bundaberg.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I couldn't afford, any.
Oh yeah.
I had to go through bargain bins to get stuff, and I was like,
"Hey,
Van who? I love Van Halen. I wonder if Van Morrison is related to Van Halen."
This is the follow-up act. Yeah.
Did know Van Morrison from fucking Adam.
And now.
And bought that tape. Love it to this day.
Yeah.
So we showed you last time one of the things that he worked on, the kneeling angel. He's working on 3 small figurines over the course of a year. He's about 20 years old. What I did mention last time is that there was the artist that preceded him working on this tomb was Niccolo dell'Arca. He was an early Renaissance sculptor, mostly worked in terracotta. And Michelangelo, when he did the Kneeling Angel, he was sort of copying the style that Dell'Arca had been using on the tomb, so it all blended together, right?
Sure.
So,
yeah.
But we talked about how amazing that was. The other 2 statuettes are standing figures of Bologna's local saints, Saint Petronius and Saint Proculus.
Right.
Each is about half a meter in height, and we're going to show you those now. I'll start with Saint Petronius. Again, for the people watching our YouTube, go to our website, therenaissancetimes.com. If you want to check it out, go find the latest episode, or just go to our YouTube, search Cam and Ray Renaissance.
Yeah, I need this.
If you're not already doing that, let me share this with you so you can see it. Can you see that yet?
Yes. Look at that.
Saint Proculus.
What's that in his hand?
So,
sorry.
Again, just marvel. He's holding a model of the city of Bologna.
Oh, he's makes sense.
In his left hand.
Look at that. The detail. Sorry.
Yeah, look at the detail on the fingers.
Yeah.
Like the nails and the folds and the skin on the knuckles.
Because of the pressure of the weight of the thing. He probably made someone hold something for months at a time.
This angel's giving me sexy looks like right here. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Oh my,
there.
that's like, come hither. No, you stop.
Yeah, stop turning me on, angel.
No, you stop it.
No, yeah. Again, the drapery, the folds of the cloth, getting up under the folds here. There's that space under these folds. Carving this out of fucking marble.
Under the arm.
The space in here.
Yeah. It's got to go.
Yeah.
And the beard.
The beard,
yeah.
the eyes, the expression, like lots of expression, lots of detail, the hollowed out of the cheekbones.
I would trust him. I would trust him to be my patron.
Because he's got a beard?
No, to be my patron. He just looks badass. He's he's intense.
Yeah.
I guess that's what I'm saying. Yeah. It's amazing.
Along with Saint Francis of Assisi, who was the other patron saint of Bologna.
Right.
Saint Petronius was one of their patron saints. He was the bishop of Bologna during the 5th century.
Okay.
Said to have, I don't know, been one of the sort of the founders of the city, I guess. Turned it into a real Christian city. It was probably just a little outpost at the time, but he was a big deal. The other saint that he did was Saint Proculus. Now, Saint Proculus is said to have been a Roman officer who was martyred at Bologna under Diocletian.
Right. So now
we just recorded a Caesar show with some guests, Matteo and Matthew from the Lost Roman Heroes podcast.
Yep.
And we talked about Gallienus, Emperor Gallienus, who supposedly persecuted the Christians before Diocletian.
Right.
100 years or so before Diocletian. But in this one, we're talking about Diocletian. There was a guy called Marinus who was sent to Bologna to enforce the emperor's edict against the Christians.
Right.
And Proculus apparently was a soldier who was so upset by Marinus's cruelties to other Christians, he went to his house and killed him with an axe.
See, that's what a good
around 304 CE.
That's a good Christian right there. Yeah.
He was himself arrested and beheaded, and then carried his own head to the location where a church would later be dedicated to him.
What?
His remains are preserved in the church of San Proculus in Bologna.
Is he still holding his head? No, you don't have to answer that.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine.
Well, as you will see.
Right. I'm sorry.
When we look at the statue, which is based on real life.
Of course. It's like a picture.
Yeah. He's not carrying his head.
No, that's probably.
Hold on. Is this the right statue? It is the right statue. Saint Proculus, San Proculus. Yeah, he's not carrying his own head. He looks like a young boy.
He does.
He's another twink.
Quite youthful.
Yeah, he doesn't look like somebody's going to chop your head off with an axe, does he?
Exactly. He does not look like a killer. No.
I was hoping he'd be carrying his own head in one hand and an axe in the other. But does it look at all familiar to you, Ray?
Yeah, there's something. I'm not getting it. But is it the head? Is it the face? Is it the something that's like?
Look at the way the head is turned, looking off to the distance. This hand carrying a cloak over his shoulder.
Yeah, I see it now.
The tilting of the body and the legs. What does it remind you of?
A little tiny baby David.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So
torso
this
one way,
statue,
head another. Yeah.
Yes. This statue, the way he's built this becomes the template for the statue of David that he does many years later.
He's loving and learning. That's amazing. and of course, again, the detail, the cloth, the robe, the cloth alone over his shoulder. Amazing. And it's all one solid piece.
And all that space under here.
Yeah. You got to get in there.
You know, up there. Look up at in the junk area.
I was going to say.
He's
Look, I'm going to need to be alone for this part of the carving because I got to go up in between the thighs. Just shut the door. Shut the door.
Yeah. Just amazing.
And he's
amazing.
20, 21. I can't remember what you said.
Yeah, 20. About 20 at this point. Incredible, right?
Yeah. Maybe he's right to go, I don't need a 9 to 5. All I need is a patron and a chance to show what I can do. Now, just to compare him to, because we covered this in Leonardo. Leonardo was doing amazing things, but he hadn't gone viral yet. I get the sense that Michelangelo here has not yet gone viral, so he has to kind of show what he can do. But with these statues here, obviously this young man is incredibly gifted. He probably can't do anything else like paint or architecture or anything like that. But as far as carving in marble, one of a kind.
Like us, he
Right.
was so talented, he got himself into a lot of trouble.
That sounds right.
People were jealous.
Yeah. Oh, jealousy.
Competitors were jealous.
The green monster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was so, like us, so incredibly talented and successful at this point that artists were threatening him.
Yeah. Break your
He
arm.
was being threatened with, violence from local artists.
Yeah. Well, he's taking their jobs.
Because-
yeah, fuck him.
Well, he's taking their jobs. He's just rocked up.
Yeah.
He's come.
It's true.
He's 20 years old,
That's
1920.
Right.
Fucking just
Yeah.
wanders in
I like a
to
job.
Bologna.
Yeah.
These guys, they're running workshops. They're paying rent. They've got guild fees.
Yeah.
They're competing.
Hookers.
They've been working their ass off for
Need
years.
that money, baby. That sweet coin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he just rocks up and is given the commission. Didn't have to compete for
Yeah.
it. Didn't have to
Living in a nice
you know,
house.
do a submission. Yeah.
Eating grapes or
He's
whatever
given the
fuck
marble, given a place to work,
Bullshit.
lives as a guest
This is
in his life
bullshit.
of privilege.
I want to kill him now.
It is.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's bullshit.
It is.
So he has like death threats on him.
Oh man. Did they
and
carve him? No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Whether or not it's that or something else,
Right.
by late 1495, he decides to return to Firenze.
Yeah. And yeah, between the threats and there's only so much going on in Bologna. Look, it was fun while it lasted, but I feel like I'm about to enter the next phase of my life. Yeah. Late 1495. Time to go back and see what else is going on. But remember, when he goes back there, it is a theocracy. So, he's got to keep that in the forefront of his mind.
Yes, under Savonarola, Florence wasn't exactly a welcoming environment for artists.
Yeah.
We talked about this in our long Savonarola series. Even some of the great artists there were destroying their art. We had the bonfire of the vanities going on. People are destroying their own works. They're, oh my God, this is so
Sinful.
yes,
Yeah.
so sinful. What was I thinking at the time?
The devil got me.
A bit like in the United States today, everyone's just falling over to apologize for their sins and apologize to King Trump.
And paying him money while they're doing it.
50 years later, Michelangelo told his biographer Condivi that he could still remember the sound of Savonarola's voice in the churches on the Sundays.
Yeah.
And he ended up...
Just real quick, a side note, as far as remembering someone's voice, how many decades or centuries will have to go by before someone can go, people tell me, and someone not know who that is. They tell me I'm the best. They say it, not me. And they got to be right, before someone forgets that. Or is that just a part of American culture?
No, well, if I go,
with the
who I'm
French
doing,
on top.
right? It's-
Yeah, we all know who it is.
Yeah.
That's my Uncle
Yeah,
Larry,
yeah.
the car salesman. No. No, good point. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
I saw some video of Mussolini the other day. Do you know Mussolini did one of the first ever talkie videos where he was talking to Americans? It's like 1927 or something.
Yeah.
He was giving basically an interview to, I think it was an American media outlet. He's in Rome, but he's like talking in English
Right.
to his good friends, the Americans, and how he loves the Americans, and he's very, very fond of the Americans and all this kind of
Yeah.
stuff. I just never seen him say anything in English before, just giving a chat. So it was fascinating.
Well, he has a thick, obviously a very thick Italian accent, but under him, they either started or brought back, I can't remember the right word to use, the idea of film festivals. So he made the trains run on time for a while and started brought back the film festival, the idea of the film festivals. He also, invaded North Africa, but that's on the side. So again, not all bad, right? So
Just because there was good sets for
yeah.
the films.
Oh yeah. I mean, just the
He
backdrop,
created Cinecittà, the cinema city, Cinecittà, the
right?
big studio, I think, in Rome, where all of the great films, the
Yeah.
post-war films were made.
Cool. Where was
Anywho, um, Michelangelo, this is back in Florence, and he ends up seeking the patronage and protection of a lesser branch of the Medici family who was still there under Lorenzo di Pierfrancesco de' Medici,
Yeah.
aka Il Popolano, the friend of the people.
Yeah.
Or just Il Popolano is just the people, but yeah, friend
Right.
of the people.
If I could make a recommendation, I'm glad you used the word lesser because, and we're going to get into this into a moment. So let's just call him the lesser Lorenzo as opposed to Lorenzo il Magnifico, because there's going to be a little reason for that. But I think if we call him the lesser one, but this is now Michelangelo's new patron, and there is tension between this branch of the family, and the famous one. So that actually benefits the lesser Lorenzo being here, considering that Savonarola is the one in charge. So that kind of break between the family branches is actually protecting not only the lesser Lorenzo and his family, but it's also now protecting, to a degree, Michelangelo.
Yeah, so this lesser Lorenzo, was an Italian banker and politician born in 1463. So he's in like his mid 30s at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And the relationship between the senior Medici branch and the lesser Popolani branch had been tense for decades, since the 1440s.
Yeah.
When there was tension between the senior Medici and this lesser Lorenzo's father, Pierfrancesco de' Medici. And he was the son of Lorenzo the Elder, the younger brother of Cosimo de' Medici, which makes Pier Francesco the nephew of Cosimo.
Right.
He had been orphaned in 1440 and raised by Cosimo, his uncle.
Mm-hmm.
But after Cosimo died, Pier Francesco turned against his cousin, Piero the Gouty.
Right.
And he was one of the conspirators who participated in Luca Pitti's failed coup of 1466 against the Medici.
Yeah.
We've talked about that in previous episodes. But then was forgiven by Piero and took care of the family bank. He died in 1476, and his sons were only children. I think Pier Francesco Jr. would have been like 13.
Right.
So then they were raised by Lorenzo il Magnifico.
Mm-hmm.
But then in 1478, when Lorenzo was going through financial difficulties, he basically emptied his cousin's bank accounts.
Right. Forced loans. Look, just trust me. It's business. You don't get this yet. You're not a man, but I'm going to take all your money. Trust me. This is going to work out brilliantly. ... for me. So so he did get them a good education in humanist teachings, but he did take all their inheritance. So a little bit of good, little bit of bad.
Yeah. By the time they were 18, they claimed he owed them over 100,000 ducats.
Is that a lot?
Which, that was a lot.
If someone had told me that was a lot, I got to be honest with you, I wouldn't have done it. But no, and I know some of it gets paid back in time, but the point is, these two sons, when they do become of age, they are going to obviously not like that branch of the Medici for obvious reasons.
Was that wrong? Should I not have done that? I tell you, I gotta plead ignorance on this thing, because if anyone had said anything to me at all when I first started here that sort of thing was frowned upon, because I've worked in a lot of offices, and I tell you, people do that all the time.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, they had a good humanist education. They were actually, Lorenzo the Lesser was such good friends with Amerigo Vespucci that in the early 1500s, when he went to the New World, the Americas, his most famous letters when he wrote back to Florence talking about it were written to
Wow.
Lorenzo the Lesser di Pier Francesco, or LDP as I'm going to call him from now on. So LDP was also a great patron of the arts. In
Right.
1485, he commissioned an illuminated manuscript of Dante's Divine Comedy
Wow.
with artwork by Botticelli, talking about people who burned his artwork during the days of Savonarola. I remember Botticelli was one of those.
Yeah.
And Botticelli's painting, Pallas Athene, taming a centaur,
Mm-hmm.
was commissioned by Lorenzo il Magnifico for LDP as a wedding gift.
Oh, wow.
And it is also believed that Botticelli's allegory of spring, or the primavera, as we call it, one of his most famous paintings, along with The Birth of Venus, it's the other one that's hugely famous,
Right.
was commissioned to celebrate LDP's wedding, either by LDP himself or by Lorenzo il Magnifico.
Wow. Yeah.
LDP is believed to have later commissioned The Birth of Venus by Botticelli, my absolute favorite painting from the Renaissance,
Yeah.
bar none, hands down.
Wow. That's his,
Thank you. Let's go home.
That's his-
Call it a day.
that's his claim to fame. That's cool. I like that.
Yeah. So LDP, the new patron of Michelangelo, quite possibly commissioned The Birth of Venus and the Primavera from Botticelli.
Yeah.
So there you go.
So he's a player. When it comes to the art world, he's a player.
When Piero was exiled from Florence, the two brothers, LDP and his brother,
Right.
sided with the Republican Party,
Mm-hmm.
who ousted the
Medici.
other Medici,
Yeah.
the cousin Medici,
Yeah.
and Savonarola, and which is why they got the nickname Il Popolano, of the people.
Right. That makes sense.
So they sided against their members of their own family, but Michelangelo doesn't seem to care. He's like, yeah, Medici is Medici is Medici.
His
You
check
got
clears.
the money, you got the Medici.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can pay me, set me up, and give me marble. Whatever. I don't do politics right now. I don't do politics.
Yeah. As I said last time, we didn't really get to finish the Medici story on this. We got sucked into Savonarola.
It's his fault. Yeah.
Actually, episode 107, Savonarola Part 14, Savonarola Burns,
Mm-hmm.
we published October 30th, 2020.
Oh my God. We were babies back
Over-
then. Yeah. Sorry.
5 years ago, we finished the Savonarola
That's
story.
COVID times. That's COVID. Yeah.
Then we got sucked into the Leonardo rabbit hole for a couple of years.
That was fun. I enjoyed the fuck out of it.
And then we did the whole fucking
Crusade?
Crusades, I think,
Spanish
after that.
or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a light romp. It's been fun.
It's been 5 years since we've talked about Medici and Savonarola and all that kind of stuff. That's crazy.
It's a good thing we're going to live.
5 years.
It's a good thing we're going to live forever. So, no worries.
I wasn't even doing Kung Fu back when we did that.
Wow.
That's how long ago it is. I'm about to do tonight. Chrissy and I are doing our last grading before our black belt grading.
That's
We're doing our
impressive.
second level brown belt grading.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even start Kung Fu until August of 21. So there you
Yeah.
go. Pre-Kung Fu days.
Wow.
I was still fat cam back then. I was fat cam. Now I'm ab cam.
Ab cam. Oh, I like that. It sounds like you
Ab
got a
cam.
camera on your
Yeah.
abs, and I like that idea too. But we'll take that off air. Don't.
Hey.
Okay.
Hey.
Anyway, where are we?
Yeah.
Yes.
So Michelangelo produced a couple of pieces for LDP, a carving of Saint John the Baptist, who, as we know, was the patron saint of Florence.
Right.
Also, he did a sleeping Cupid. Unfortunately, both of them are lost.
Oh, that's sad. Because you like to see that. Yeah. But Lorenzo the
But
Lesser.
There's a great story.
Yes, and I'm only going to set it up because I actually had a question which I'll ask at the end. I don't want to mess this up. So Lorenzo the Lesser, And I'm not saying his name is lesser because of morality. It's just that he can't be El Magnifico. So anyways, so he looks at this and he goes, you know what? Young Mickey, this looks like you've imitated the style, the shape, whatever you want to call it, the essence of ancient sculpture. You know, I think if we stuck this in the dirt, smear some dirt on it, make it look like it's been buried for a while, we just might, and God forgive us, but cash is cash. We might be able to pass it off as a truly piece of antiquity, sell it for a buttload of ducats, because I don't know if you know this, but the other Lorenzo took all my money. Anyways, so you think about it. But I think the idea, and I wanted to get your opinion, is this is a proposal supposedly from Lorenzo to Mickey. Mickey, this is his new patron. He's like, well, I gotta kind of do what he says, or he might drop me. I don't know, and maybe I'll get some of the cash. I don't know, but that's as far as I'm going to go. But do I have it right so far? Because it sounds like it was Lorenzo's idea, and Mickey, being 20 or 21, probably going, he's the boss, right? I gotta kind of go along with this. Is that accurate? Is that fair to say?
Yeah, biographers don't seem to be sure if this story is fabricated or not, but you
Right.
have to love the idea of Lorenzo the Lesser going, look, it's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
Right.
Like, you're okay.
Yeah.
Michelangelo. You're all right. But you know what would make it really special? If we try and pass it off as an antique.
Yes. Cash.
So, meanwhile,
Back at the farm. No.
Meanwhile, while this is going on, Michelangelo ends up being introduced to Cardinal Raffaele Riario
Damn.
in Rome. But there's the backstory to this. So I've got a book on the floor here, The World of Michelangelo.
Right.
Somewhere. It's great. Picked this up years ago. It's the Time Life Library of Art book. Lots of beautiful plates and beautiful drawings and the whole deal.
Okay.
Pietà. According to that book, it says, accordingly, Michelangelo carved a sleeping Cupid, gave it a properly weathered look, and sent it off to Rome, and the shady agent awaited, Baldassare del Milanese.
Right.
Before long, he received the welcome sum of 30 ducats in payment. This is Michelangelo. Followed by word from Baldassare that he had managed to sell it with a profit for himself that he considered satisfactory to a rich collector, Cardinal Raffaello Riario.
Ooh.
What Baldassare neglected to mention was that the selling price had been 200 ducats. However, before long, the cardinal became suspicious and demanded his money back.
Shit.
Baldassare steadfastly refused, insisting that the Cupid was everything he had claimed. The cardinal, reasoning that if it was in fact a fraud, the artist skillful enough to create it must be a Florentine, sent an agent to Florence to find him and persuade him to come to Rome and confront Baldassare.
Wow.
Condivi tells what happened then. This gentleman, pretending to be on the lookout for a sculptor capable of executing certain works in Rome, after visiting several, was directed to Michelangelo. When he saw the young artist, he begged him to show some proof of his ability, whereupon Michelangelo took a pen and drew a hand with such grace that the gentleman was stupefied. Afterward, he asked if he had ever worked in marble, and when Michelangelo said, fucking hold my beer, and mentioned, among other things, a Cupid of such height and in such an attitude, the man knew that he had found the right person. Learning of the 200 ducat sell price, Michelangelo agreed to join the cardinal's cause.
Wow.
The affair of the sleeping Cupid ended to the satisfaction of the cardinal, at least when the discomfited Baldassare gave up the 200 ducats and took back the statue. However,
Right.
to Michelangelo's demand that the sequence continue so that he could reclaim his statue for 30 ducats, Baldassare replied indignantly that it was his property and that he could not part with such a valuable work for such an absurd price, nor did he.
Damn, this kid's getting screwed. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
Through channels unknown, the Cupid was acquired in 1496 by Cesare Borgia, son of the reigning Pope Alexander VI, who later presented it as a gift to the Duke of Urbino. Still later, it disappeared without a trace. Michelangelo's visit to Rome stretched out to almost 5 years. Relatively little is known of how he spent his time. According to Vasari, he stayed more than a year as the guest of Cardinal Riario. Speaking of it disappearing without a trace, you heard, of course, about the Louvre burglary
A little
this
bit.
week?
Yeah, I haven't paid too much attention. But yeah, what did they get? Do we know?
Yeah. So about half an hour after the museum opened, two guys pulled in high-vis workman's outfits, pulled a ladder up to
That's all you
one of the
need.
wings of the Louvre,
Yeah,
went up the ladder, looking like they were workmen,
right.
used an electric saw to drill through a window,
Wow.
which set off an alarm,
Right.
walked to a gallery where there was all this jewelry from the era of Napoleon III,
Right.
and a crown that was worn by the Empress Eugenie. Smashed all the glass cabinets, set off more alarms, stole all the jewelry, walked back out, down the ladder, jumped on a couple of motorcycles that some friends of theirs were ready with, and fucked off. Dropped the crown along the way,
Right.
which had like 1,500 diamonds in it and 100 emeralds or something, damaged the crown when it got dropped. But they got off with about $110 million worth of jewelry, 7 minutes in and out.
That's better than my lovemaking. So will they be able to pawn? What's the word I'm looking for?
Yeah.
Pass the stuff off, because everybody knows.
Fence it?
Fence it. Everybody knows what it is. But you might get a private collector.
No, but
Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, well, that's my theory. My theory, it's a Saudi prince or an
they're-
American billionaire
yeah,
or some Russian billionaire oligarch who's just like,
I want it.
got my little private art museum. Listen,
Yeah.
I'll pay you $1 million.
Yeah.
You go steal something.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. Just go steal it. I'll give you $1 million. If it's good,
Just
I'll
something I
give you the
can
money.
put in my office, my man cave. That's all. That's all.
But that's how easy it is to steal $110 million worth of jewelry from the Louvre. It's 7 minutes,
2025.
no security,
Right.
in, out, Bob's your uncle. Like, we're in the wrong business.
First of all, we should be singing thieves. I've been saying that for years, but I think we should start now.
I was watching Larry David on Seth Meyers
I saw a
yesterday
second
or
of
the day
that.
before.
Yeah.
And Seth asked him, if you didn't go into comedy, what do you think you'd do? He goes, I think I'd be a criminal. I think I could pull off a heist. He goes, planning stuff, writing the whole thing.
Sounds like fun.
I'd be a planner. I'd plan
Yeah,
a heist.
yeah.
I think I'd be good at that.
I think he would be.
And Seth said, I know what job you'd have in the heist. You wouldn't be the getaway driver. And he goes, you'd be the guy who caused the distraction. You're going to be like,
Attack! Heart attack. Yeah, no. He would be brilliant at that.
oh, do you know who Tim Robinson is?
I've heard the name.
He was on SNL years ago, but then he's done a couple of great TV shows. One called Detroiters, and one called I Think You Should Leave with Tim Robinson.
Sounds familiar.
I recommend both of these shows.
Uh-huh.
Funny fucking shit. His whole shtick is he plays an angry white man, and everything he does, he's just this angry white man who gets angry over stuff that just this pent up rage that he can't contain and does inappropriate stuff. He's got a new show on HBO Max called The Chair Company. It's only got a couple of episodes out. We've
Right.
only seen the first two, yeah. And it's fucking great.
Mm.
But the setup is he works for an architectural firm. He's like a project manager, successful, wife, 2 kids. His life's great. He's
Right.
getting promoted. Everything's great. He's giving a presentation in front of the company about this new big mall that they're building, and it goes really well. He goes to sit down on a chair on the stage in front of the whole company, and the chair breaks, and he falls on his face,
Right.
and he's embarrassed.
Sure.
Then he starts deciding that he's going to complain to the company that made the chair
For
that he
fuck's
could have been injured,
Right.
and then he can't find them, and it turns out that there's no one at the office. Then he starts thinking there's a vast conspiracy to kill people
Through
by
chair.
putting it through chairs,
Via
and he
chairs.
becomes obsessed with this conspiracy theory of his own making, and he starts devoting all of his time to hunting down this chair company, and then at the end of the first episode, he gets hit in the head with a metal pipe, and a guy says to him, "Stop looking into the chair company," and then it's just fucking fantastic and funny, and he's just so good. He's just so angry. And he tries to contain it. Like, he knows he's out of control, but he just can't hold it in. He's just this angry white man who can't contain his rage. And it's like he's looking for, you got this generation of guys that are angry and they're voting for Trump just because they're angry and they
Oh yeah, fuck them.
don't really know why.
Yeah.
They're just angry because
Yeah.
they feel like they've been cheated
Right,
from the American dream or whatever.
right,
He sort of represents those guys. And
that's
just
good.
it's looking for any outlet.
Right.
And no matter how ridiculous the outlet is, that's the outlet.
let's check that
So
out.
the chair company, I highly recommend anything and watch. I think you should leave. It only ran for 1 or 2 seasons, but it was sketch comedy. But every sketch
Right.
is like that. He's just
Oh my god.
angry or stupid or out of control. Really, really good. And the Detroiters is great too. Anyway,
Check that out. Where were
him
we?
and
Sorry.
his best friend, and they own a advertising agency.
Oh
And it's
god.
really, really good.
Standing back.
Anyway.
Yeah, where were we? Sorry.
Riario,
Yeah.
Cardinal Riario. Let's finish off with him.
Well, the story that you just told about the fake, trying to pawn it off as an ancient piece. This is a cardinal. What we're going to find out is that he's really into collecting artwork. He's another patron of the arts. But if he had been any less so, he's got the power to make people disappear. He's a fucking cardinal, right? So again, fortunately for everybody involved, even the guy who had to take the statue back, this cardinal is not like fucking kill him. He could have, but he truly is a patron of the arts, and this is going to benefit Mickey a little bit.
And humans everywhere.
Yes,
Because
yes.
as we're going to find out,
Pretty big deal.
Riario commissioned
Yeah,
one of the most famous artworks in history.
you're right.
So Riario was the first adolescent to become a cardinal in the entire history of the Catholic Church.
Wow, he's that good.
He was 16 years old when he was made a cardinal. Because he was very spiritual? No, because his uncle was the Pope. His great uncle. Pope Sixtus
Yeah,
the fourth.
right. That's how you.
Pretty sure.
Yeah.
64.
64.
67. 67. Do you know 67?
Yes.
I know your kids are a bit,
Yes.
maybe too old for
No,
that.
they-
No, 6,
They
7.
do it, and I do it, and they think it's
Oh.
hilarious. So it's hot right now. Tomorrow to
Oh.
be something else. But anyway,
Chrissy and I do it to piss off all of the young kids
Yeah.
at Kung Fu.
right?
If they're getting a bit uppity, we just go 6, 7, 6, 7, and then they get really,
Maybe
really angry.
maybe you shouldn't piss off people at a kung fu class. I don't know. That's just me.
Well, I know. Yeah, you make them laugh,
Then it's okay.
and then you hit them.
Oh.
Is the way it works.
You're good.
Yeah,
You're good.
yeah. 64. Francesco della Rovere. He was the Pope from 1471 to 1484. He built the Sistine Chapel. He created the Vatican Library. Great patron of the arts. Also created the Spanish Inquisition.
Well, you got to take the good with the bad.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he was the guy that organized the Pazzi conspiracy against the Medici, where they tried to kill Lorenzo and his brother Giuliano. And when that went down, we talked about that in the last episode, Easter in the church. In 1478, Riario was actually in Florence at the time. He was a witness to that,
Fuck.
probably his uncle's man on the job. Come back and tell me how it went down. I want to hear all the juicy details.
Give it to me. Yeah. God dang.
Giuliano died. Lorenzo was wounded but survived. We covered this on episode 78, January 25th, 2020,
Damn.
pre-COVID.
Damn.
The Pazzi conspiracy.
That's incredible.
Good times.
Good times.
Pre-COVID.
Yeah.
I remember, I remember January 2020 because COVID was having an impact in China. China was shutting down and locking down, and we were talking about it on our investing podcast at the time, which had only been going for a couple of months, and we were like, "Well, I wonder what impact this is going to have on the rest of the world." And
Boom.
little did we know
Yeah. Damn.
So, Raffaele was arrested by the Florentine authorities because he was, the Pope's representative there. And also, one of his relatives, Girolamo Riario, his uncle, was the head of the plot, along with the Archbishop Francesco Salviati. They were the Pope's guys. They're actually running the whole thing.
Right.
But Cardinal Riario was released a few weeks later. Lorenzo de' Medici had him released. And now he's safely in Rome. And Mickey arrives in Rome in 1496, 25th of June, aged 21.
Look, yeah. So besides the fake statue story, this Pope, this Cardinal obviously sees this young man with talent. He has a need for someone with his skills. Hopefully they can work something out together.
And if you were a cardinal of the Holy Catholic Church, Ray, and you have,
I've been, go ahead.
Obviously a very, very talented young sculptor, there's only one thing you're going to immediately ask him to sculpt for you. You got money. You're going to commission this young, incredibly talented, gifted sculptor. If you're a cardinal in the Catholic Church in 1496, what's the first thing you're going to ask him to sculpt for you?
Yeah, I feel like this is a trick question, not a stone dildo, right? Am I?
That would have been good. Yeah.
No.
The first thing.
Yeah, go ahead. Because I can't remember.
First thing he asks Michelangelo to sculpt is an over life-size statue of the Roman wine god Bacchus.
Okay. Not what I would have thought.
What?
Yeah.
The actual fuck?
Look. I'm the cardinal during the day, and at night I take off the cardinal dress, and I'm not a cardinal. I'm a very complicated person. Maybe I have, there's layers, Jerry. There's layers to me. And maybe I've always wanted one, and fuck it, I'm a cardinal. I can do what I want. And this is the most important part. The Pope, the Borgia Pope, Alexander VI, he's too busy with his mistresses and his illegitimate kids and trying to enrich his family. He doesn't give a flying fuck. As long as I don't screw this up, I can do anything I want. And this is what I want to do. So fucking do it. And that's what he does.
So let's have a look at this statue.
Look at that.
Over life size,
yes,
as I pointed out. A drunken Bacchus.
That's the best kind. Yeah.
Yeah. This is what the cardinal decides is a good use of his money and Michelangelo's talent. Vasari describes it this way. He has a cup in his right hand, and in the left hand, the skin of a tiger,
right,
with a bunch of grapes at which a little satyr is trying to nibble.
Yes.
The detail on the grapes there.
Yeah.
In that figure, it may be seen that he sought to achieve a certain fusion in the members that is marvelous.
Mm-hmm.
And in particular, that he gave it both the youthful slenderness of the male and the fullness and roundness of the female.
Oh.
A thing so admirable that he proved himself excellent in statuary beyond any other modern that had worked up to that point.
Nice. Can I?
So,
yeah. I want to add to that. I want to add to what you just said, that balance of male and female, and then take it one more step. So I went to a website called Michelangelo.org, and he had this to describe or to talk about this piece of work. The body of this drunken and staggering god gives an impression of both usefulness and femininity, like you were just saying. Vasari says this is a strange blending of the effects that is the characteristic of the Greek god Dionysus. But in Michelangelo's experience, sensuality of such a divine nature has a drawback for man. In his left hand, the god holds the indifference, a lion skin, the symbol of death, and a bunch of grapes, the symbol of life, from which a fawn is feeding. Thus we are brought to realize in a sudden way what significance this miracle of pure sensuality has for man. Living only for a short while, he will find himself in the position of the fawn, caught in the grasp of death, the lion skin. So in one hand, he has the symbol of life, the symbol of death. You're not here for a long time, so make it a good time. And you can't get away from that. And bringing the male and the female together. If all this is true, if this is what Michelangelo was trying to get across, this is one of the most complex, psychologically speaking, pieces of art that I've ever fucking seen. And it's magnificent to boot.
Yeah. So it's marvelous. Look at his hair and
The detail,
the grapes.
Those are
and the
individual
leaves and everything.
Individual grapes carved out of marble.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And you can tell his body does look masculine at the top here, and then it does kind of look feminine
there's some
around
femininity.
here. But then he's got his boing loings down here, as Fox likes to call them, from Adventure Time.
Right.
You ever watched Adventure Time? You know, the Ice King, Adventure Time?
Someone got hit in the boing lines. Oh, wait. Oh, hit in the boing lines. Boing lines. Boing lines. Somebody got hit in them.
Oh my
boing
God.
loings. Someone got hit in the boing
That's a
loings.
scientific term. Yes. Oh my goodness. Sorry, go ahead.
And also the leg of the satyr here, like the
Yeah.
goat hoof and leg here is marvelous. I don't know why he's got this tree stump going up his butt,
Hey,
but
you do you.
maybe that's how he
Yeah.
gets off.
Look, the devilish grin. That's like the Joker.
Yes.
The Joker, and not in a good way, eating the grapes. How would you like the Joker?
Yeah.
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 Intense.
But, and I've talked about this many, many times over the years, but the connection between Dionysus and the Jesus story, just to remind people, they're probably sick of me telling this story, but fuck you, it's my show. The whole eat the bread, this is my body, drink the wine, this is my blood, is really weird for a Judaism breakaway cult.
Exactly.
But when you realize that these agrarian mystery cults were very, very popular in the Roman Empire at the time, and you realize that from the point of view of Dionysus or Bacchus, the wine god, drink this wine, it is my blood.
Yeah.
And then you have the wheat god, Isis or Osiris, or somebody akin to that. Eat this bread, it is my body, makes total sense if you're worshipping an agrarian god.
Right.
So that whole the whatever they call it in Christianity now, I can't remember. The Eucharist.
Yeah.
The Eucharist tradition that Paul is the first person to mention in the New Testament, he says it was passed down to them, his generation of Christians.
Right.
Seems to have been something they've adopted from agrarian mystery cults. And so then you've got this cardinal who was got a good humanist education.
Yes.
That's why he's a great patron of the arts.
Yes.
Commissioning
For job one.
a statue of the wine god.
Job one.
It makes you think that he knew what was
Yeah.
up.
I know.
Or Raffaele Riario.
He knows
He
the
knew what was
origins.
up.
He knows the origin story. Look, I know why we're here now,
Yeah.
but I know where it came from. So this is a little pun, a little cheek and whatever. Make this statue for me.
Yeah.
Tongue in cheek. There we go.
So this statue was rejected, though, by the cardinal when it was sculpted. He was like, you know what? On second thoughts, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I was
what was I
thinking,
thinking? I was
can't have
drunk.
that. I can't put that in the house.
I was deep in my mistress. Oh my God. I'm so sorry. Yeah.
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 I can't do
I
that.
can't have
But
that here.
it entered the collection of a banker, Jacopo Galli, for his garden. It's now in the Bargello, the Museo Nazionale del Bargello in Florence, which I don't believe I've been to. I'm embarrassed to confess. One of the places I haven't been to in Florence, according to its website here, it has masterpieces by Donatello, Verrocchio, Della Robias, Michelangelo, Bologna, and Cellini. The palace, founded in 1255 as a monument of great fascination, built to serve as the first public building in medieval Florence, it was soon destined as the seat of the podestà, the chief city magistrates, whose many coats of arms are still set in the walls of the courtyard. Starting from the second half of the 1500s, the building became the seat of the bargello, the head of the city police, and was used as a prison for the following centuries.
Damn.
So add that as a list. What's on there right now? Let's see. What's on at the Bargello? Let's imagine we were going to fuck off over there and see what's going on.
I can get a red eye.
Oh,
Yeah.
look at that. Free Sundays at the museums.
Oh, that's us.
They've got everything going on.
Yeah.
Donatello, the Renaissance. Oh,
Gilberti.
2022.
Oh, it's okay.
Why have they not updated their website? It's advertising stuff from 2022.
So we can't take this at face value. Is what.
What
Just
the
call
fuck?
him. Just call him. You speak Italian. Just
No
call him.
events scheduled. Check out our past events.
What good is that going to do me? I'm let
maybe
down.
they're-
Let's just go there and have gelato.
Shut down. Okay. So that is that. It's a masterpiece. Amazing sculpture. But
Yeah.
he's not done.
No.
So, in November of 1497, after young Michelangelo's been in Rome a little over a year, the French ambassador
Ooh.
to the Holy See. Speaking of ambassadors,
Right.
did you see what happened to the Australian ambassador to the US this week?
No. Tell me he's okay. No, I didn't see this.
Oh, great story. So, our Prime Minister,
Right.
Anthony Albanese, called by Australians just Albo.
Right. Makes sense.
That's how everyone in the country refers to our Prime Minister. He's just Albo.
Right.
Hey, Albo.
Keep it casual. I like it.
What's up, cunt? Albo was in Washington to have a sit down with your President Trump.
Right.
His first real meeting. They bumped into each other at some meeting a couple of weeks ago, but and he got a selfie with him. But this is their first sit down. Albo obviously is on the left of politics here. He's the leader of the Labor Party, the akin to your Democrats.
Right.
Albo, God, this like how bright I am on this thing. Pasty as fuck already.
Albo.
Albo it's great. Like Albo in our last federal election, the guy running against Albo, Peter Dutton, who just lives around the corner from me, was positioning himself as Trump light, thinking he'd get the Trump vote in Australia, and got soundly trounced
Right.
in the elections.
Right.
Everyone was like, fuck no, we don't want to end up like the US. And so Albanese campaigned on the fact that Dutton wanted to be Trump, and that was a bad thing. Now he's have a meeting with Trump. Our ambassador to the US is a guy called Kevin Rudd. Kevin Rudd was the leader of the Labor Party
Mm-hmm.
going back 20 years ago. He was the Prime Minister of Australia from 2007 for a few years. Then his own party knifed him and he was replaced by Julia Gillard. Then they knifed her and he was back as Prime Minister for a while. And then he
Damn.
ran in an election and lost.
Right.
But he was the ambassador. He's been the ambassador to the US for quite a few years. When Trump was out of the White House, Rudd talked about him and said very bad things about Trump as a wannabe tyrant and basically called him a piece of shit and not so many words.
Right.
And then Albo's sitting down with Trump. There's a press corps. The press corps say to Trump, what do you think of Australia's ambassador, Kevin Rudd, and the things he said about you in the past? Not very flattering things he said about you. Trump says to Albo, I don't know who you're talking about. Says to Albo, does this guy still work for you?
Yeah.
Albo says, yeah, he's the guy sitting right next to me. He's our ambassador to the United States. Trump
Awkward.
goes, oh, I don't know who you are. I don't like you anyway. Probably never will. You think when you're the ambassador and there's a sit down, which went very well apart from that.
Yeah.
They signed a rare earths deal and a bunch of things.
Good.
You think like that's the highlight.
Yeah.
You know, as an ambassador, as you organize a sit down that goes well between the head of your country and
That's
the head
your
of the
job.
United States.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then the president of the United States says, I don't know who the Australian
Yeah.
ambassador is. Never heard of him. Never seen him. Never met him. Don't give a fuck. Who are you? Don't like you.
Probably never will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
Well, since he's Australian, one, I think he's going to be fine. Two, he's got a story to tell at every dinner, at every bar for the rest of his life. And it's Trump, so he's always going to come out on top. You know?
Yeah. Quite
So,
frankly,
yeah.
Donald Trump doesn't like me is a badge of honor everywhere else in the
Exactly.
world.
Well, that's like a 12-year-old. Look, I don't know you. I don't like you. I probably won't ever like you. I mean, based off nothing. You know, you're just trying to jab the other person. Anyways, but yeah, he's got a story to tell, so he wins by default.
I just wish Radin's gone, yeah, you know what? Get fuck cunt.
That's right.
If he just said that to him.
That's right. Mr. He said to his own president, Albo, it's been a pleasure working with you, sir. President Trump, go fuck yourself. You know, whatever.
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah. You can't. Yeah,
No,
whatever.
he would have won Australian of the Year. If
He would have won the next election,
You know?
is what he would have won. Yeah.
Then
Anyway.
if he'd said, hey, listen, we're not here to fuck spiders, mate, so let's just get on with it, then he would have. The French ambassador to the Holy See, Cardinal Jean de Belleret-Lagralois,
Ooh, nice name. Do you have to be
meets
rich?
with this young
Do you have that name?
Michelangelo.
Go ahead.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So
Probably.
the banker, I don't want to say friend of Michelangelo. It might be going too far, but a go between in a minute. You know, someone. Hey, let me introduce you to this guy who's got some money. He likes art. You're an artist.
The banker friend? No, he's in Rome now. He's with the Cardinal.
I thought Jacopo
He's fucking around with the Cardinal.
Gali recommended him.
Yeah.
Okay. So go ahead.
Now, this ambassador was also a cardinal at the time. He'd been a cardinal since 1493. He was the French ambassador and a cardinal.
Why not? Why not?
And he meets Michelangelo through cardinal sit-downs. You know, cardinals get together and
Right.
they're like, you know,
Papa Squat.
what little boys have you been touching
Yeah.
lately? And they're swapping stories.
Yep.
He goes, you can sculpt, eh?
Yeah.
I reckon you can sculpt?
Yeah.
How about you sculpt me
Right.
the Virgin Mary grieving over the body of Jesus?
Right.
Let's call it the Pietà, the Madonna della Pietà,
You think
Our Lady of Pity,
Think you can handle that? Yeah. Yeah. Let's see how good you are.
which Michelangelo then does. He's 21, 22 years old.
Jesus.
And he's given the commission to carve the Pietà, which today, you know, is pride of place in
Yes.
St. Peter's Basilica.
As it should be.
We've seen it. We've stood in front of it.
We've licked it.
As has pretty much
Right.
anyone who's ever gone to Rome and
Right.
you've gone to the Vatican, you've seen this thing.
Yes.
This in the Sistine Chapel, obviously another Michelangelo, the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel, but it's an absolute masterpiece. But I never realized until I was preparing for these episodes that he was 22, 23 when he sculpted this fucking thing. Now, by the way,
Yeah.
not part of the biblical narrative of the crucifixion,
Yeah.
Mary holding the body. That doesn't happen, but it was common in religious sculpture in medieval Northern Europe, would have been very familiar to the cardinal. It wasn't a new idea.
Right.
But the contract was agreed upon, and it's going to require a whole episode of its own. So I think we're going to have to leave it to next time. But yeah, this is at this young age, Michelangelo. I'll show it to the kids at home in case you're watching the YouTube and you don't know what I'm talking about. This is what we're talking about.
Look at that detail. Jesus.
Yeah, it is absolutely incredible. Leaving the religious iconology out of it.
Yeah.
Just imagine a mother, way too young, by the way, to be holding a 33-year-old dead son. She looks
like
younger than he does.
Exactly. Well, I was going to say real quick, I mean, Michelangelo, when you're 22, you're cocky-ish. You can't be cockier. Still, he delivered. I mean, we're going to go into it next time, but just look at that. I mean, oh my God, that's it. That's the height of Renaissance art.
Yeah. So we will get into detail about that next time.